Welcome everyone to today's EIR curriculum session, From Idea to Opportunity. Over the course of this presentation, we will dive deeply into recognizing, evaluating, and generating venture-scale startup concepts. Today's curriculum is broken down into 10 core modules designed to help you master venture ideation from the ground up. Our primary objectives are twofold. First, to help you select startup theses that statistically outperform average market attempts. Second, to equip you with the exact analytical lenses used by EIR partners to evaluate founder market alignment and market scale. Let's start with the reality of startup ideas. No one can predict success with 100% certainty on day zero. While execution speed and team resilience dictate long-term success, starting with a strong thesis gives you a massive statistical advantage and prevents wasting 12 to 24 months on doomed concepts. Where does this advice come from? We analyzed quantitative data from top venture-backed companies that scaled past $1 billion valuation, combined with pattern recognition from analyzing thousands of rejected applications and pivot cycles across regional EIR cohorts. Our ideation framework sits on 3 pillars: understanding the 4 most fatal founder traps, auditing concepts against 10 critical evaluation questions, and applying 7 proven recipes to surface high-potential concepts. The cost of pursuing a flawed startup thesis is real. Founders spend an average of 18 months trying to force traction before pivoting or quitting. Selecting the right starting point saves years of opportunity cost. Understand the structural difference. A venture-scale startup requires a massive TAM of at least $1 billion, high gross margins, and rapid scalability to return fund capital. A small business or agency focuses on immediate cash flow with linear scaling linked directly to labor overhead. To succeed, you must adopt 4 EIR mindset shifts. Move from "what can I build" to "what acute pain exists." Shift from broad claims to hyper-specific beachheads. Embrace operationally complex spaces over shiny apps, and treat your thesis as an evolving hypothesis. Let's move into Module 2, focusing on trap number 1, Solution in Search of a Problem, or SISP. What is SISP? It's starting with a technology, tool, or product concept and actively hunting for a problem to apply it toward. Why does it fail? It generates manufactured, superficial problems that end users ultimately don't care enough about to pay for. Anatomy of an AI SISP. The thought process usually starts with, AI is revolutionary. Where can I apply AI? The trap is forcing LLMs into workflows that don't need automated generation. The better approach is identifying an existing workflow bottleneck first, then asking if AI is the optimal solution. Differentiate between superficial and acute pain. Superficial pain sounds like, it would be nice if this took 2 minutes instead of 4. Acute pain sounds like, if this system fails today, our team loses $50,000 in revenue. Users pay immediately for acute remedies. Watch for 3 warning signs of SISP. Spending more time explaining your tech stack than customer pain. Prospects saying, "That's cool," but refusing to commit budget or trials. And constantly switching target user personas while trying to keep the core technology identical. Solution attachment leads to defensive behavior and trying to force-fit features onto unwilling customers. Problem attachment enables rapid adaptation, continuous iteration, and complete pivots while staying focused on solving customer friction. Avoid the grand societal trap, hearing "solve real problems" and picking broad issues like climate change or healthcare equity. These are too complex and fragmented for early-stage lean startups. Focus on specific commercial friction points first, then expand scope as you gain leverage. Contrast abstract starts with tractable EIR theses. Instead of a vague AI assistant for overall wellness, target automated medical coding for radiology practices. Instead of a blockchain global trade platform, build automated customs clearance software for trucking. Our SISP elimination rule is simple. Write 0 lines of code architecture until at least 10 target customers describe the exact same manual workflow pain without prompting. Pre-sell solutions or validate contracts before building complex tech stacks. Run this self-audit checklist. Can you state the problem in one sentence without mentioning technology? Are prospective users already spending money or time trying to patch this? Does their primary KPI improve if this vanishes? And if you removed the AI or blockchain layer, would a simple database still deliver value? Module 3 focuses on trap number 2, tar pit ideas, recognizing superficially plausible traps. The illusion of a tar pit idea is that it centers around widespread, everyday friction that seems ridiculously simple to fix with a basic app. The reality? Founders get stuck for years because deep structural dynamics prevent scaling or monetization. Why do tar pits lure founders? Nearly every young founder encounters the problem personally, like social group scheduling or restaurant discovery. Because you can mock up the interface in a weekend, it feels like an effortless billion-dollar opportunity. Classic tar pit categories include social hangout apps attempted continuously for 20 years, group meal recommendations plagued by poor retention, and campus note marketplaces killed by extreme seasonal churn. These categories fail because of deep structural blockers. Multi-sided coordination needs everyone on the app before utility exists. Low usage frequency destroys organic retention. Consumers refuse to pay subscriptions for social planning, and student populations reset annually. Are tar pits impossible? Not technically. Someday, a founder might unlock the exact viral growth loop to break through, but they are statistically improbable and 100x harder than they look. As an EIR, you want to stack the deck in your favor, not take the hardest possible path. Run our 2-step tar pit test. Step 1, Google thoroughly across archives and app stores. Step 2, interview 3 founders who shut down startups in this space and ask what killed their retention. Step 3, unless you have a radical structural fix for their exact cause of death, step away. Tar pit startups rarely die from poor code quality. They die because customer acquisition cost exceeds lifetime value by 10x. Focus your talent on fertile B2B or industrial sectors instead. Consumer tar pits include social feeds and party planners. B2B tar pits include generic internal feedback boards or recognition tools that slash through HR budgets quickly. Your shield is deep workflow integration, regulated compliance, and high switching costs. Watch for these red flags. Is your primary user base college students? Does your app depend on users convincing 5 friends to join? Are you assuming early monetization via ad revenue? Have 10+ startups tried this exact value proposition over the last decade? Module 4 addresses traps 3 and 4, finding the right balance between rushing and over-analysis. Trap number 3 is picking the first idea that comes to mind. Impatient founders get excited and immediately register domains without evaluation, spending months building something without stopping to check if it has founder market fit or viability. Trap number 4 is perfectionist paralysis, analyzing hundreds of ideas, rejecting every single one for minor flaws, and never launching. The truth is that there is no perfect startup idea on day 1. Every legendary startup looked flawed or strange initially. Find the middle ground. Balance analysis and action. Avoid jumping blindly at idea number 1, and avoid sitting on the sidelines for 2 years waiting for perfection. Find an educated starting point with good core traits that can morph as you learn. Treat your idea as an educated starting point. Your initial concept will morph 50 to 80% as you interact with customers. A good starting thesis gets you into conversations with real buyers who reveal their real problems. To summarize all 4 traps, fall in love with customer pain to avoid SISPs, test failure modes to avoid tar pits, and pick an educated starting point to avoid rushing or paralysis. Key takeaways. Evaluate at least 5 to 10 concepts before picking a winner. Set a strict deadline of 2 weeks for initial thesis evaluation, and accept that your final billion-dollar product will look different from slide 1. Module 5 begins our evaluation framework, focusing on questions 1 through 3. Question 1. Do you have founder market fit? Are you and your co-founders uniquely suited to solve this specific problem better than anyone else? Stop searching for a good idea in abstract. Search for a good idea for your specific team. Look at PlanGrid. Tracy was a construction engineer who deeply understood blueprint friction on job sites. Ralph was an exceptional developer who built high-performance iPad rendering engines. Together, they formed the ideal team to build construction software. Question 2. What is your target market scale? Type A is an existing multi-billion-dollar industry with legacy software ripe for replacement. Type B is a tiny market today, positioned directly in front of massive secular growth trends. Our $1 billion TAM rule. To justify venture capital investment, a startup must have a credible path to $100 million plus in annual revenue at scale. Coinbase in 2012 targeted a tiny crypto market that expanded into a $1 trillion asset class. Question 3. How acute is the problem? The gold standard is simple. If the alternative to your solution is literally nothing or manual nightmare spreadsheets, you have an acute problem. Look at Brex. Early-stage funded startups could not get corporate credit cards from traditional banks without personal guarantees. Founders couldn't pay for AWS servers or Google Ads. Brex provided instant underwriting based on venture cash balances, creating explosive growth. Evaluating questions 1 through 3. A strong EIR signal means 5+ years of industry experience, a $1 billion plus current TAM, or 50% plus CAGR market growth, and a problem where the alternative is zero options or a complete business halt. Module 6 covers questions 4 through 7 of our evaluation framework. Question 4. Do you have competition? Counterintuitively, having competition is good. It validates market demand. Having zero competition often means zero buyers exist. You just need a fundamental execution or technological insight that incumbents lack. Question 5. Personal validation. Do you personally experience this pain point on a recurring basis? Or do you personally know 10+ people who urgently need this solved? If no, beware of building in an empathetic vacuum. Question 6. What is the recent world shift? The best startup opportunities are unlocked when a recent catalyst, like LLMs, open banking regulations, or remote work, makes something possible that was previously impossible. Case study, Checker. As Uber and DoorDash hired hundreds of thousands of gig workers, legacy background check companies required manual paper forms, taking weeks. Checker built an API-first background check engine tailored specifically for automated gig onboarding. Question 7. Are there validated proxies? A proxy is a successful company operating a similar model in a different vertical or geography. DoorDash proved unit economics in North America, serving as a powerful proxy that on-demand delivery could scale via Rappi in Latin America. Module 7 completes our evaluation scorecard with questions 8 through 10. Question 8. Are you ready for a 10-year commitment? Venture-backed companies take 7 to 10 years to reach exit scale. You don't need an initial obsession with tax software. Passion grows naturally as you win market share and solve real user pain. Question 9. Is the business scalable? Pure software offers infinite distribution and 80% plus gross margins. Avoid service agency traps that rely heavily on high-skilled human labor, where revenue growth requires linear headcount growth. Question 10. Is this in a fertile idea space? An idea space is a broader class of related concepts, like vertical B2B SaaS or developer tools. Different idea spaces have radically different historical success rates for early-stage startups. As shown on slide 55, target fertile idea spaces with proven high validation hit rates to maximize your probability of venture success. Case study, Fivetran. They selected data analysis tools for enterprise as their fertile idea space. They built multiple tools that failed sales calls, but because they stayed inside that fertile space, talking to data engineers, they stumbled into automated ELT pipelines, a multi-billion-dollar business. Review the complete scorecard for questions 1 through 5. Verify an unfair team advantage, a $1 billion plus TAM, a painful workaround alternative, a validated market with an execution gap, and personal experience or contacts. And questions 6 through 10. Ensure a clear why now catalyst, a proven proxy model, a 10-year willingness to master the domain, high-margin software economics, and a historically high VC hit rate. Module 8 explores unintuitive success signals, 3 qualities that look bad on paper but are actually great green flags. The 3 unintuitive green flags are schlep blindness, boring spaces, and crowded markets. Signal number 1, schlep blindness. A schlep is a tedious, unpleasant task that people actively avoid, like navigating banking regulations or compliance audits. Because most programmers avoid schleps, massive 100 billion plus opportunities sit untouched. Look at Stripe's schlep. Thousands of web developers knew credit card processing sucked in 2010. But building Stripe required negotiating complex banking deals and credit card rails. Everyone else was too lazy to do the schlep. Stripe did it and built a $100 billion enterprise. Signal number 2, boring spaces. Fun ideas like music apps get picked over by thousands of developers. Boring ideas sit wide open. Case study. Gusto built a giant business by modernizing unglamorous SMB payroll software. The daily reality of startup work is identical. Whether building a music app or payroll software, your daily routine is writing code, fixing bugs, and calling users. Working on a boring idea that grows 20% month over month is 100x more fun than a cool app nobody uses. Signal number 3, crowded markets. The misconception is, there are already 20 players here, so we shouldn't build. The savvy realization, 20 competitors prove massive market demand. If users still complain, all 20 existing solutions suck. Look at Dropbox. 20 plus cloud storage apps existed when they launched, but consumers used none of them because manual web uploads were friction heavy. Direct operating system integration created silent background sync, making Dropbox 10x better. Module 9 provides our practical playbook of 7 idea generation recipes. Organic generation accounts for 70% of winning startup ideas, occurring naturally while working at the forefront of a field. Manufactured generation accounts for 30%, sitting down to systematically brainstorm using analytical recipes. Recipe 1. Start with your team's exceptional domain expertise. Recipe 2. Solve specific industry problems encountered in previous jobs or family businesses, like VetCove. Recipe 3. Build products you personally wish existed, like DoorDash, but audit for tar pit traps. Execute the career audit exercise. Step 1. List every past job and project for every team member. Step 2. Identify the most annoying manual workflow in each role. Step 3. Ask, what insider knowledge do we have that Silicon Valley programmers don't know? Recipe 4. Exploit recent world shifts, like GatherTown did with distributed work. Recipe 5. Take proven sector proxies to underserved regions, like Nuvo Cargo. Recipe 6. Conduct systematic discovery by picking a fertile space and interviewing 50-plus operators on site. Look at A to B's truck stop discovery. They selected trucking logistics, physically drove to truck stops, and interviewed hundreds of long-haul drivers. They discovered driver fuel cards were predatory and outdated, resulting in a multi-billion-dollar fintech company. Recipe 7. Target broken industries characterized by low NPS, reliance on fax machines, and ancient software. Target examples include commercial maritime insurance, local government permitting, and construction material procurement. Module 10 covers moving from initial thesis formulation to market validation. Ensure co-founder alignment. Pair deep industry domain experts with rapid builders. Both co-founders must agree on the core problem hypothesis before committing to the discovery phase. Run your first validation test. Identify the single biggest leap of faith assumption in your thesis. Attempt to get signed letters of intent or pre-orders before writing production code, putting a prototype in front of users within 14 days. Hit the 50 interview target. Conduct 50 structured discovery calls before finalizing product roadmap specifications. Ask exclusively about past behavior and current spend. Never ask hypothetical future questions. Knowing when to pivot. If 50 interviews reveal users don't care, retention is flat, and CAC is 10x LTV after 30 days, pivot. Pivot properly by staying inside your fertile idea space and drifting into an adjacent acute problem. Track your cohort execution milestones. Move systematically from thesis selection to 50 discovery calls. Iterate during weekly peer reviews, and rely on evidence and LOI data before building production software. That concludes our EIR curriculum presentation on From Idea to Opportunity.